Hi folks, here we go with engine rebuild part 2 of the Cadillac engine. Last time we stopped by just tightening up the main bearing caps, just tightening them up, and this time we are torquing them down step by step, a little at a time, until we get to the torque setting specified in the shop manual. After each stage of tightening it, we turn the crankshaft by hand to ensure that the crankshaft is turning very freely, which it should. After we finish torquing the crankshaft all the way to the final amount, we once again turn the crank by hand and it should just turn very freely like this. If it's tight at this stage, it should definitely not be forced and turned. That would damage the bearings. So that's that, and we move on to the next step, which is slipping on the new piston rings onto the new pistons. Some of the rings are steel and those are very flexible. They can just be slipped on by hand as they expand quite a lot and very easily. The top two rings are cast iron and those are very stiff and they can snap if you over expand them. So we use a special tool to expand those rings only just enough to slip them over the pistons. That's the pistons done, and we go ahead with carefully inserting the piston connecting rod assembly into the block. And when we do this, we also tighten up the connecting rod bolts. So we apply lubrication onto the bearing, each bearing as the piston is going in, and we just tighten it up just slightly so that the connecting rod is located onto the crankshaft, because we do have to turn the crank a little bit sometimes to enable some of the connecting rods to be sent through and to be tightened onto the crank. That's one side done, and we move the block onto this side so that we can enter the last four pistons on this bank. We have to be careful here when we send the piston rings through from the outside to the inside of the block, because if you force it, you can break the rings, and if that happens, it's very difficult to buy a single replacement ring. Piston rings are usually sold in a set, and if you break a ring, I have found that you generally have to buy another set. Here we have no problems. We managed to get all eight pistons in without any problem, and we turn it by hand just to check that the whole thing, the bottom assembly turns freely, which it does, and we'll leave it here for this time and look at step 3 in the next video. I hope you like the video. So if you have, please leave a like or comment and please do subscribe. Bye.